Good day, everyone. I am Justin James Ariel, your host for today. The topic that we are going to talk about is the power of open communication, for voices, for perspectives. So, what is open communication? Open communication is not just about exchanging words, it's about fostering understanding, building trust, and creating connection. Today, we have four speakers who will each share a unique perspective on how open communication can transform different areas of our lives. And they are, for speaker number one, we have Miss Janice. For speaker number two, we have Miss Bokong. For speaker number three, we have Mr. Ubat. And lastly, for speaker number four, we have Mr. Yang. So now let's start with our topic. And for speaker number one, let's have a round of applause for Miss Janice.
Good day, everyone. I am Janice Abbas from Group 6, and today I'm going to talk about the importance of vulnerability in open communication. So, first, start by addressing why vulnerability is often seen as a weakness and how society teaches us to guard our emotions. Share a compelling story or research, example by Brent Brown's work in vulnerability and shame. This is illustrates how vulnerability can deepen a relationship, and this is how vulnerability allows people to express their true selves, which lead to more genuine connections, both personally and professionally. When we are open ourselves about fears and failures, others feel encouraged to do the same. The power of vulnerability in leadership, where admitting mistakes can inspire team members to be more honest and open about their own challenges. So, vulnerability is not a weakness, but a strength that builds trust by allowing ourselves to be more seen. We invite others to do the same, creating an environment of openness and growth.
Thank you, Miss Janice. And for our speaker number two, let's have Miss Bokong. Let's give her a round of applause.
Good day, everyone. I'm Priscilla Grace Bokong, and I'm discussing the hearing and listening. Hearing is a passive psychological process that occurs when sound waves enter the ear and are processed by the brain. Listening, on the other hand, is an active conscious process. It involves not just hearing words but also focusing on their meaning, interpreting nonverbal cues, and engaging with the speaker. The psychological impact of being actively listened to has profound psychological effects on the speaker. Research shows that when people feel genuinely heard, they experience a sense of validation and respect. And the key elements of active listening are maintaining eye contact. Maintaining eye contact helps convey interest, focus, and empathy. Being present. Being present means giving the speaker your full attention, free from distractions, and like checking your phone or multitasking. Avoid interruption. Interrupting can convey a lack of respect and dismissiveness. And lastly, asking clarifying questions. Asking questions that clarify the speaker's message shows that you are engaged and genuinely interested in understanding their perspective. The role of silence in communication, one often overlooked aspect of active listening, is silence. And the conclusion, active listening goes beyond just hearing words. It is about making a concentrated effort to understand the full message, including nonverbal cues and emotions. By maintaining eye contact, staying present, avoiding interruptions, and asking clarifying questions, we create an environment where people feel valued, respect, and understood. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Bokong. And for speaker number three, we have Mr. Ubat for his topic. And let's give him a round of applause.
Hello. Introduce the concept that conflict is a natural part of relationships and workplace, but how we handle it. determines whether it's strength or weakness. The connection explain the tendency many people have to avoid conflict, when often leads to miscommunication, resentment, and unresolved issues. Share statistic or studies on the cause of unsolved conflict in organizations. Present the concept of open dialogue in conflict resolution, where both parties are encouraged to express their thoughts, feelings, and needs without fear or of judgment of retaliation. Offer practical steps for engaging in open dialogue during conflict is create a safe space, establish rules for respectful communication. Number two, focus the issue, not the person. Encourage constructive criticism rather than personal attacks. Seek understand understanding rather than trying to win the argument. Aim to understand the others other person perspective. Collaborate on solution. Work together to find a resolution that benefits both sides. Conflict doesn't have to be destructive when we approach it with open communication. It becomes an opportunity for growth, understanding, and stronger relationship.
Thank you, Mr. But and lastly, we have Mr. Riel for the outro of our topic and his perspective on open communication. Hello and thank you for having me today. I am Justin James Ariel and I am your last speaker, and today I will share to you my perspective on open communication and on how open communication can transform different areas in our lives. First is transparency and leadership. Transparent leadership fosters trust and promise collaboration. Lack of communication from leadership often leads to mistrust, decreased morale, and lack of direction. Transparency, on the other hand, builds a culture of openness and accountability. When leaders communicate openly, they set an example for others to follow. For instance, companies like Buffer and Patagonia are known for their radical transparency, which fosters trust and ownership among employees. Frequent and honest communication reduces uncertainty and helps employees feel more secure and involved in the company's journeys. In conclusion, transparency isn't just a leadership trait, it's a strategic advantage. When leaders communicate openly, they create a culture of trust and collaboration that drives success. Is the role of empathy in communication. Empathy is the foundation of meaningful and effective communication. So, empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. Example, showing empathetic communication leads to better teamwork, customer service, and even conflict resolution. When people feel understood, they are willing to collaborate and communicate openly. Empathy can be practiced in everyday conversations by actively imagining other people's perspective, being non-judgmental and accepting their feelings even if they differ from your own, and responding with care rather than just showing or solving the problem. As empathy and communication can bridge cultural and societal divides, creating more inclusive and supporting environment. In conclusion, empathy is the bridge that connects us. When we approach communication with empathy, we don't just hear words, we understand the human experience behind them, leading to deeper and more meaningful communication. And thank you to all our speakers for sharing their own perspectives on open communication, vulnerability, listening, conflict resolution, transparency, and empathy. These are the pillars of open communications that can transform our relationships, workplace, and communities. As you listen today, think about which of these practices you can apply in your life. Open communication is the key to building trust, fostering collaboration, and creating meaningful connections. And before I end this discussion, I'd like to leave a final thought. In a world that is increasingly divided, open communication has the power to unite us all. And that is all. Thank you.